And we're back. Sorry there wasn't much notice review video, but then I started feeling sick the other day, and I was going to try to shoot the video yesterday, but then I figured, well, I don't know, maybe I should just wait till tomorrow to see if I feel better. Then tomorrow came, and I felt even worse, and I started losing my voice, as you can tell. You guys hear me all right? All right, figured I wasn't going to be able to get through a whole video, so why not just do it like this? We haven't done a review video, a live stream since Daredevil Born Again ended, so why not? It should be easy, won't take too long, and then I can go lie down. Really not feeling so good. So yeah, I'm sick as a... You guys are in for a fun time. So get your super chats in if you're so inclined. I'll talk about the movie because I already had the review already written out before I decided to do it this way. And so I'll do that. I'll give you my thoughts on Karate Kid Legends. Then we'll do super chats, and then we'll call it a night because I don't think we'll go too long here. Thanks for tuning in, by the way. I would have given more notice. I just didn't decide until a couple hours ago that I was going to do it this way. But yeah, if I'm dialed down in this video, it's because I'm sick as hell right now. But I guess that's pretty fitting, because Karate Kid Legends unfortunately doesn't inspire any strong feelings, which is a shame, really, because this really should have been an easy win. Cobra Kai just wrapped up a few months ago, and I haven't watched the final season yet, but from what I've heard, they stuck the landing. So you continue the legacy by bringing the original Karate Kid and the reboot film together. On paper, you've got me. Daniel-san teaming up with Jackie Chan? Shut up and take my money. Come on. At least that's what I wish I could say. Yeah, sure, the team-up happens, technically, but it's not really what the movie is about. Despite being promoted that way, instead the movie is about several other, much less interesting things. So, problem number one, this film had no idea what it wanted to be. Yeah, the script was very obviously rewritten multiple times, very late in the game if I had to guess. Because there's at least 3 different movies here, and only one of them is the movie this thing should have been. First, it's a standard paint-by-numbers sequel to the 2010 reboot film featuring a new Karate Kid, Lee. Then, it's a story about Lee training the father of his love interest for a boxing match, because, Kung Fu is applicable to boxing somehow. Don't think about it too much. And then, with about half an hour of runtime remaining, the filmmakers suddenly decided, hey, people sure like that Cobra Kai show. Let's throw Daniel LaRusso in there and do a team-up while we're at it. And if you're wondering how all that stuff is supposed to tie together, well, it doesn't really. The boxing subplot, which feels weirdly out of place here, just stops being a thing about halfway through the movie. And there's no real... He's old friends with Mr. Miyagi. Okay, but why does Lee suddenly need a Miyagi-Do sensei when he has Shifu Jackie Chan right here? What is it about the problem they're facing? This tournament and these bullies that are tormenting Lee that needs Miyagi-Do karate to fix it? I don't know. So Mr. Han just flies from China to New York to help Lee, and then flies all the way from New York to California to get Daniel, and then from California back to New York because the plot says so. Why not just do the whole movie in California? Probably because they'd already shot the New York scenes and Daniel wasn't written into the script until later. That would be my guess. And Daniel and Mr. Han don't really do anything interesting once they're together either. I mean, if you like badly edited training montages, there's a bunch of those, but it just comes off like a very clumsy way to get Cobra Kai fans in the door. Not that you should expect any tie-ins with the show. It's a tie-in only in that Daniel makes an appearance. Eventually. He doesn't even show up until pretty late in the game. And there's another little cameo at the end. I won't spoil it. And it was cute, but that's all it was. Just a cute little cameo. And it just felt very lazy to me because there's so many things they could have done with this. Daniel meets this old friend of Mr. Miyagi who has a whole different teaching style, a whole different philosophy to martial arts, and what happens to this kid they're training when those two different styles start to clash. Hell, Cobra Kai gave you the perfect blueprint for this, just do what the show did. But no, instead, nothing is really made of it at all. Daniel and Mr. Han get along very well. They have a few friendly disagreements about training methods played for laughs, but that never turns into anything. And there is a little bit about this two branches, one tree stuff, where two different things can combine to form a greater whole, I guess. And that could have been a big theme of this movie if Lee learning these two different styles of martial arts had been an important part of the movie, but it really isn't. Rather than being a theme that the story focuses on or helping Lee to have some kind of personal revelation or whatever, it's really just a bunch of padding to give Daniel more lines. It's just one more idea that could have been cool, but the movie just doesn't do anything with it. Even the big moment when the three of them are all fighting together comes off like kind of an afterthought. You know, it just comes out of nowhere, sandwiched in between a couple of tournament fights, so it's there for a minute or two, and then it's over. Like something the filmmakers threw in for some quick fan service, rather than an actual story point or like a fist-pumping type of moment. And then they just forget about it and move on like it meant nothing. And speaking of things that meant nothing, the villain. Complete one-dimensional cardboard cutout just because the film needed a bully character. You know, we don't learn anything about him. Him and Lee only have a handful of scenes together. Frankly, he's barely in this thing. He's just there to be the ass. That's the only use the movie has for him. And this really made me wonder, like, why did we spend the first half of the movie on this boxing subplot that ultimately went nowhere when we could have been getting to know this kid or some of these other characters who are supposed to matter in the story but don't really? Like Lee's mom, for example. There's a little bit of story there with her not wanting Lee to fight, but he's really only been fighting in self-defense. He never starts any fights, so the mom's objections just feel really forced. Like, I mean, what does she want? For Lee to not defend himself when some asshole sucker punches him? Because that happens at one point, and she still gets mad. I got impatient with this character. I mean, you do kind of see you do kind of see why she feels this way because of stuff that happened in the past, but she just comes off as irrational and frustratingly underdeveloped. I mean, I just wanted to grab Lee and tell her, dude, this guy sucker punched you on the subway. What the hell are you supposed to do? Okay, you did what she wanted. You're not fighting. You're not starting any fights, even when some guy attacks you. Just tell her what happened, man. Come on, this is. In the end, she just magically gets over the no fighting thing, because she can be in Lee's corner during the tournament finals, like just like that. So there may have been more scenes that fleshed her story out at one point, but they didn't make the final cut, so it doesn't really matter. Then you've got the fights, okay? It seems really obvious that Ben Wang, martial arts stud, who's nerfing the crap out of himself just so the bully characters look like they stand a chance against him. But they also try to have it both ways because they want Lee to be a bullying victim and a total badass at the same time. At one point, Lee defeats the bully characters in a 3-on-1 street fight. But isn't he supposed to be the underdog here? Isn't the whole point that he has to train and get better to defeat the main bully? But he's beating, like, the bully's henchman 3-on-1. Like, what? Make up your damn mind, movie. The fights themselves are fine, I guess. I mean, there's nothing necessarily wrong with how they're performed, but they're not shot well at all, with the camera zooming all over the damn place, and the editing is atrocious, which saps the fun from these fights at almost every turn. That's another major problem. This has to be the worst edited movie I've seen in a very long time. Instead of just focusing on telling a story and shooting it in a normal way and cutting it in a normal way, they loaded this thing up with montage after montage, awkward split screens, weird scene transitions, and very, very out-of-place video game-style graphics. There's right here in this big versus graphic in the center. Like, they do that stuff in the movie. Like, the only reason I could think of for doing any of this was that they were trying to cover up the fact that they cut so much of the story out. And it doesn't work at all. It takes you out of the movie over and over again. You know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of the David Ayer's Suicide Squad movie. Because in that movie, excuse me, in that movie, you could tell that there were a lot of holes in the story that they were trying to cover up with these weird editing choices. That's what this felt like. I don't know what happened with the script, but it seems like they were just trying to cut around things or trying to, like, avoid exploring certain things or just cover up the fact that they cut things out and doing all this weird editing nonsense to try to just disguise something. Or just disguise the fact that the something wasn't there. Like, that's what I felt like they were doing here. Now, I don't know what the video game style graphics were doing. You know, who knows what that was like? Maybe they just wanted it to look like a video game because, you know, those young people like video games. It was really stupid. And when I say that they cut a lot of stuff out, that includes the tournament that they were building up to for the whole movie. Like, the tournament is actually mostly glossed over. Like, they don't spend much time on it, really. You only get one or two pretty short fights, and then just like that, it's the finals. And that final fight is also kind of short and underwhelming. Like, the stunts are nice. They're nice enough, but the build-up and the payoff are just not well done. And I don't like saying that because Ben Wang is clearly a very talented martial artist. You know, the main characters are all right. You know, the love interest is fine. You know, her boxer dad was unnecessary, but you know, he was fine as a character. You know, Lee is a little bit bland in the personality department, but he's not unlikable. And when Daniel and Mr. Han are training Lee or reminiscing together about Mr. Miyagi, there's some nice stuff in there, even if the editing is all over the place. You know, that there are a couple nice scenes between them that I liked. They have a nice dynamic, albeit the one that the writers didn't do much with. If they had just parked the camera, not cut away with a million weird edits, and just let these characters tell a story, I think I would have enjoyed this. But the filmmakers kept trying to get so fancy schmancy with everything, and it just backfired on them. And that's about all I've got to say, really. You know, bottom line, Karate Kid Legends just did not come together well. They had a good concept. The two legends, Daniel and Mr. Han, teaming up to train a new Karate Kid. But that concept plays like it was added in during one of several hasty rewrites because somebody decided that they should piggyback on whatever buzz Cobra Kai had left to sell this thing. Ironically, the smart move would have been to just give the movie to the Cobra Kai team and let them make it. That's something cool here. I feel bad for the film this could have been in more capable hands. We could have had, you know, a good film if they just hadn't made so many weird decisions with this thing. or if they just stuck to the core concept from the get-go. But between the slipshod rewrites, the weird directing, and the awful editing of 3 different movies, where the one it should have been was just kind of haphazardly thrown together in the 3rd act. So it kind of sort of becomes what it should have been the whole time once Daniel shows up, but that doesn't happen until we're in like the last stretch of the movie. So Daniel is actually not in this movie as much as you'd think. So yeah, I think ultimately that the big legendary team up was just something they were using to sell this. And I don't know that they were making a really earnest effort. Like if they wanted to cash in on the Cobra Kai fandom, they didn't do a great job. It was all just surface level stuff, unfortunately. So Legends feels less like a capper to the Karate Kid franchise and more like another example of how Hollywood is just dropping the ball with one franchise after another these days. And that is the review that I wrote. That was going to be the review video before I decided that my voice was just not going to hold up, because shooting these things does take a while. I think if I told you how much time I usually spend shooting a video, I think you would be surprised, because it's a process. Is I'll do take after take after take until I get one that I'm satisfied with, and that what you guys had to say about this, and then we'll get out of here. Okay. You said like I feel today. Yeah, I'll bet. Actually, my voice sounds better than it did a few hours ago. When I woke up, it was pretty bad. It's actually a little better now. Why does YouTube keep unsubbing me? Such a pain. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know why that keeps happening. When I was gonna shoot this as a video, I had a little PS at the end where I mentioned that YouTube had unsubscribed a bunch of people in the last month from the channel. So I was making a little bit of progress, trying to inch my way up to 54,000, and then nope, back down to 53.3. This has been happening more and more lately. I don't know why. I couldn't tell you why it happens. The algorithm just hates me for some reason. So yeah, just all I can tell you. That's all I can tell you. Just always take a second to make sure you're still subscribed, because you never know when you might be unsubbed for whatever reason. Let's see. Unrelated to the film, but how come you stopped reviewing wrestling during TNA? Do you still watch wrestling? Yeah, I still watch wrestling. Haven't watched TNA in a while. Well, there's a story behind that. I guess the short version is that I had a couple life-changing events happen to me, one after another. And I got to a point where reviewing wrestling just didn't really work for me anymore, and I wanted to change it up and just do something different. Plus, I mean, I've been doing that for a long time, and it was pretty obvious that it wasn't going anywhere. Because I think my old pro wrestling channel maxed out at 3,000 subs and change. So yeah, I was tired. I wanted to do something else. And this has worked out. This has worked out a lot better. Plus, me and TNA kind of broke up. I couldn't tell you how ugly the breakup was, but the product just didn't work for me anymore. I've been really frustrated with it for a long time. And, they were on this weird that I'd never heard of. And I don't even think I got that channel, so I had to follow it via live streams and whatever. I wasn't even enjoying the product anymore. It just started to feel like work covering it. And I started the wrestling channel because it was fun. And I was really angry about the state of the business, and I had a lot to say about it. And I didn't really, fast forward, several years, and I wasn't enjoying doing it anymore. So I wanted to do something different. That's it. uh, See, I love Jackie Chan and Ralph, but I heard, yeah, pretty much. Um, like the first act is about Lee. Lee and his mom moved from China to New York, because she's taking a job at a New York hospital, and then he meets this girl, and her dad is like a former local boxer, and he quit years ago, but he asks Lee to train him. Yeah, so Lee is the kung fu guy, and he's training the boxer. Yes, that is the first part of the movie. I don't know why. And I don't think the filmmakers knew why either, because like after I think about halfway through the movie, it just that plot stops, and like he has the fight, like they do the fight that he was training for, and some stuff happens, and then oh no, okay, we're gonna go in a new direction, and now it's about Lee training for this local karate tournament. And like, shouldn't that have been what the movie was about the whole time? This boxing thing just seems weirdly unrelated to everything else. See, from what I heard, it seems that this movie tried to do so much and yet so little. Pretty much, yeah. I mean, they tried to cram, like I said, they tried to cram 3 different movies in here. It's like, no, it really should have only been the third one, right? Lee and his mom move to New York. There's a girl he likes. There's this bully character. They're both into martial arts. The bully is better than him, so he has to train to defeat the bully in a tournament. And Mr. Han and Daniel come together to help him prepare for the tournament. That's what it should have been. But it takes until the third act for it to really turn into that movie. Very strange. Might be interesting to see some outtakes and bloopers from some of your better rants. Uh, Maybe. I don't know how entertaining that would be. I think if I were to put together a video like that, it would mostly just be me flubbing one line over and over and over again and being like, fuck, shit, can't get this, I hate this fucking line, just stuff like that over and over. I don't know how, I don't know if it would be very entertaining. Sick or bad allergies? Both. Yeah. My allergies have been really awful for a while. I started doing the allergy drops program, which I guess is the less expensive equivalent of allergy shots, and that had been helping. The allergy attacks have become a lot less frequent, but I still have them once in a while, and apparently I'm still not immune to getting sick, which is weird. I got through cold season just fine, but now when the weather's getting actually really nice, suddenly I come down with something. So I think just about around the same time that I got sick from that bug that was going around last year. literally just resubbed and already find that I'm unsubbed again. What is YouTube doing? Good question. I couldn't tell you. I don't know why that keeps happening. My only advice would be to follow me on Twitter, because when I post when I upload a new video, I always post a notice on Twitter or Blue Sky. I got one of those too. Link should be in the description box. Did I remember to put it in here? Yeah. All right. So just follow me on Twitter or Blue Sky, and there will always be a notice when a new video goes up, because I don't know why YouTube is unsubbing people. Let's just say there's a reason why I flip the YouTube algorithm off at the end of every movie review. That thing just flat out doesn't like me. Are you going to keep this live stream up? No. What I do is when the live streams are done, I set them to private, and then I upload them to the live streaming channel. There's also a link to that in the video description below. So all the live streams go up on the live streaming channel. So this should be up. This stream should be up on that channel either later today or like tomorrow. Yeah, today or tomorrow. So link right down there. Thorias Unlimited live streams. Just go sub to that. You can find all my live streams there. Let's see. I do the drops too. They help, but I still get severe congestion on high pollen days. Yeah, it sucks. I've had that problem my whole life, man. I get it. Believe me, it's not fun. All right. Off topic, but what comes first? Bond 26 or the MTU multiverse being completely written out? I'm gonna say the multiverse getting written out comes first, probably. I don't know. There's still, I don't know. There's all this stuff going on with Bond. I guess moving over to Amazon, they're producing it now. I guess the Broccoli family gave up the rights to it. But man, God, Amy Pascal is one of the producers on the new Bond movie. So I'm honestly, I'm not in a hurry to get the next Bond movie. I think just wait a while, because Amy Pascal, seriously, what the hell were they thinking? Oh my God. Okay. Yeah, but I mean, supposedly, I mean, they've already got like the framework set up for the end of the multiverse. I mean, they've got, Secret Wars on the schedule. I imagine it'll get delayed, but they've got it on the schedule, so they must at least know what they're doing with the movie. So I think that comes first. I think that's probably it, guys. I gotta go take some more NyQuil. Then I think I don't know, take a shower, have some soup, and then maybe go to bed early. Yeah. Thanks for tuning in. Sorry there wasn't a lot of notice for this. I just kind of decided to do this a couple hours ago. When I realized that a review video probably wouldn't work out with my voice not doing so hot right now. So thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening and talking to me for a little bit. If you want to rewatch this live stream or watch it for the first time, wouldn't be for the first time, but whatever. You know what I mean. I'm sick. Sorry. If you want to rewatch this live stream, click down below. There's a link to the live streaming channel down there. The video should be uploaded on that channel either tomorrow or the day after. So look for it there. Thanks so much for tuning in. And I will talk to you hopefully soon. Not sure when the next video will be. I gotta get this taken care of first. I usually lose my voice like completely when I have a cold. So this is probably going to get worse before it gets better. So it might be a few days, maybe a week. I don't know. Hopefully not too long. So I will see you hopefully soon. Thanks for tuning in. And have a good rest of the weekend. Talk to you soon.